guys, how are you all doing? Welcome back to yet another video. Today we are back with the championship content. Now if you've been on my channel before, you'll have seen I do weekly predictions for all of the championship games. Now I've actually kept track of all my predictions all the way through the season, from the opening game week all the way to the last game week last week, and I've kept track of all of the scores, all of the predictions that I've been putting in, and now today I've added them all up, made a table, and we can have a look at what the table would have looked like if all of my score predictions had come true. Now before we get into that, let's have a little look at how the guests did. As you'll have seen on my videos before, I always go up against a guest every week, and I did end up beating the guests all together in the end with the championship predictions, but I've kept track of how they did through the weeks as well, all of the different guests, and this is how it turned out. As you can see, both Sophie and Cookie made the most appearances and bagged the most points, both making 8 appearances and getting 11 predictions bang on. George made 7 appearances, only getting 6 correct. Harry made 7 appearances, getting 7 correct. Michael made 5 appearances, getting 7 correct. Jamie made 4 appearances, getting 2 correct. Leon made 5 appearances, getting 6 correct. So as you can see there who got the best conversion rates. Michael, Sophie and Cookie all doing very well there, and yeah, it's interesting to see how they've done through the season. But like I said, I beat the guests overall, so unlucky. Now then, let's get into the table. Like I said, I've added up all of the predictions over the course of the season, 46 games, and this is how it looks. Starting at the bottom, I have Wycombe Wanderers. They are the team I backed the least this season. I only backed them to get 26 points through the season, so that's not many wins, is it? I think that's only about 6 or 7 wins with a few draws on top. Minus 42 goal difference. And they kind of proved me wrong in the end, didn't they? I know they didn't survive, but they didn't finish bottom. They finished 22nd, to credit them, and they ended the season really well. But like I said, I didn't back them to do very well over the season, and fair play to them for getting in the 40s. Next up, in 23rd, we have Rotherham United, who did finish 23rd. I backed them to get 38 points through the season, minus 23 goal difference. A frustrating season for Rotherham. I know they've been relegated, and yeah, the games in hand didn't really work out for them in the end, but yeah, I didn't back them very much over the season either. Interestingly, in 22nd place, I've got Derby County. I backed them to get 45 points through the season, which is not far off what they did get. Minus 14 goal difference as well, so a bit of a strange one that. Like I say, just didn't back Derby. I think towards the end of the season their form was really bad, so I wasn't backing them on many occasions, and yeah, they'd have finished 22nd if all my predictions had come true. Next then, with identical stats, we have Huddersfield Town, who, like I say, similar points and goal difference to Derby County there. I didn't back them very much through the season. I've got a few Huddersfield fans on the channel that have been telling me things aren't going very well this season. Obviously they did just survive, but with Corberan, it's not been a great season, has it? And they really need a big summer to push on next year. Interestingly, in 20th place we have Sheffield Wednesday, and I did take 6 points off them as well, so I did back them to get 52 points in all of the games, but obviously with the points deduction down to 46. So that's very interesting. I know Sheffield Wednesday did get relegated in the end. They actually finished bottom, quite interestingly. But yeah, I did back them quite a lot through the season, and if all of my predictions had come true, they'd have stayed up. Next then, as we move through the table, we've got Millwall Football Club and Preston North End. I both backed them to get about 48 points. Both finished mid-table. Both had respectable seasons, but as you can see, I didn't really back them to do very well this season through my weekly predictions, did I? Next up then, you have Nottingham Forest and Queen's Park Rangers, 2 more teams which I wasn't particularly kind to. To be fair to Forest, I think they did finish about 17th, so I was pretty close with that one, giving them 50 points overall with my predictions. QPR, I did really undervalue them. To be fair, at the start of the season, I didn't give them many points. It was towards the end I backed them a few more times to win games because they ended the season pretty strong, but yeah, I didn't really back QPR very often, did I? Next then, you have the 2 clubs that play at St Andrews, Coventry City and Birmingham City. As you can see there, I backed us both to get in the 50s, and yeah, I was pretty right, to be fair. Coventry did finish 16th in the end, Birmingham just a bit below that, so I was fairly right with my predictions. Wasn't particularly biased towards Coventry City through my predictions, was I? I mean, we got 55 points, as you can see there, 54, so I was pretty spot on with my predictions. I was pretty fair, not too biased. Next up then, you have Bristol City and Stoke City in mid-table, which is, well, it's where Stoke finished. Bristol City a bit below that. As you can see there, I gave them the high 50s. Stoke City, yeah, they had a reasonable season, but Bristol City, they were a bit of a shambles. I backed them quite a lot at the start of the season, then towards the end I really shouldn't have backed them anymore because they ended the season quite terribly. But fair enough, both teams will be in the championship next year. We'll see what they can do next year. Now this does not look very good. In 11th and 10th I have Barnsley and Blackburn. Barnsley obviously finishing 5th, so I didn't back them enough. I think, to be fair to them, they weren't really near the playoffs at the start of the season, so I wasn't backing them very much. I was giving them quite a few defeats at the start of the season. And yeah, no, fair play to them for making the playoffs. They've done really well. Blackburn Rovers, as you can see, I've kind of overvalued them a bit. I did give them quite a few wins because they started the season really well, but they did end it quite poorly, didn't they? Next up we have Cardiff City and Luton Town. As you can see, Cardiff City roughly where they finished in the table, so I was pretty fair with Cardiff City. Luton Town, actually, Luton fans, I was a bit too kind to you guys. I know you had a pretty solid season anyway, but I did find myself backing Luton to get a lot of wins and draws this season, so they did do very well anyway, so I won't take that away from them. They would have finished 8th if all of the games had gone how I predicted them, but yeah, still got to credit Luton. They've had a very solid season. Next up then we have Middlesbrough, and Reading actually made the top 6. I have Middlesbrough 7th on 64 points, Reading on 67, making 6th place, so that's quite a low bar to get into the playoffs. I did back Reading quite a bit through the season because they were quite solid at the start, and obviously they didn't make the playoffs. Middlesbrough, yeah, just overvalued them a little bit, but yeah, not too far off. Next up then we come to the playoff teams. I had Bournemouth in 5th, Brentford in 4th and Swansea in 3rd if all my weekly predictions had come true. Pretty close with all of these, obviously a bit the other way around. I think Bournemouth was 6th, Swansea finished 4th and Brentford 3rd, but still pretty close. Obviously I did back these teams to win a lot of games because they were having pretty solid seasons. And then last up, quite unsurprisingly, I do have Watford and Norwich top of the table. Norwich would have got 101 points, not too far off what they did get if all my predictions had come true, and Watford finished 2nd with 90 points, not too far off what actually happened as well. So yeah, I feel like my predictions through the season weren't too biased towards Coventry City. I was pretty fair, most teams finishing roughly where they did in the table, guys. So yeah, that's it, that's all my predictions. I'll still be doing predictions for the playoffs, guys. Me and Sophie will be reacting to our championship table predictions from the start of the season in a video coming up very soon. But yeah, we've still got plenty of things to look forward to on the channel. Thank you so much for your support, guys. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're new, and we'll see you in the next video. Peace out. Thank you for watching today's video. If you want to see more Matt SB content, please go over to Instagram, Facebook and TikTok where you can find me, Matt SB. More content coming your way. So go over there, follow to the socials, and we'll see you in the next video. Get in! You made it to the end of the video without switching off. What a legend. If you haven't already, please make sure to leave a like on this video, and if you really want to help out the channel, then hit that subscribe button. As you can see, 67% of the people that watch these videos aren't subscribed. So hit that big subscribe button, share it around with your friends, and let's get the channel to 3,000 subscribers. Thank you.